Welcome to our garage. It's time for some DIY. On our previous video, we replaced the brake hose on the passenger side of our SATURN VUE. On this video, we will show how to do a complete brake job, rotor and brake pads. Let's get to it. Again, safety first. After taking off your front wheels, make sure you have your jack with jack stands at all times while you're working on the car. These are the original pads and the original rotors on this car. Imagine that, a 2008 SATURN with the original pads. We'll see what kind of condition they're in when we take them off. We start by taking off the 2 caliper bolts. Once you have them off, the caliper should pull off the brake pads. And we will tie this to the spring so it's out of the way while we do the rotor and the brake pads. Do not let it hang by the hose. Next, we pull out the brake pads from each side of the rotor. We unbolt the caliper bracket so we can take off the rotor. You can see the 2 bolts to take the bracket off. I recommend using a breaker bar or a pipe on your ratchet handle instead of using a hammer handle to hit the ratchet handle. It's something that you really need to know what you're doing with that. Once the bolts are removed, the bracket will pull free. And now we can take the rotor off by removing a T30 screw. As you'll find out, the rotor will not just pop off immediately, so you just use Mr. Persuader to shake it up a bit with a few gentle taps while you hold it against the hub so it will not fall on your toes. Now we go to work on the slides that are on the caliper bracket. They need to be checked that they go in and out properly and that they have plenty of grease. While we're at it, we make sure the rubber boots that are protecting it are not damaged. We put some fresh grease and reinsert them in place. And make sure the boot collar is in its place. After doing the same to the other one, we replaced the clips that came with the new brake pads. But before that, we brush it and spray some brake cleaner, wipe it down, and put a small amount of grease to where the new clips will be inserted. We snap in the new clips. Take the new rotor and make sure it's the same. We clean the hub with a wire brush, spray some brake cleaner, and dry it with a rag. Spread a little grease to protect it from rust. Before installing the new rotor, install the disc backwards. Spray some brake cleaner on the inside of the disc to take off the factory protection film coat. This will prevent your new pads from glazing. After we clean the inside of the rotor, we turn it to its proper side and replace the T30 screw back and tighten it up. We clean the outside of the rotor the same way we did to the other side. Put the caliper bracket back on and place the 2 bolts back on. They need to be torqued to 100 foot-pounds. Now we take an old brake pad and place it flat on top of the calipers that need to be pushed back in. Put some steady pressure and they will slowly go back in as the fluid flows back into the reservoir. Notice we tied the caliper to the spring so it wouldn't pull on the hose while working.
They're pretty much flat.
Then we take the new brake pads and find the one with the wear clip. That will mount on the inside and the clip on the top. We can see the outside, how easy it is to install. Inserting it on the bottom slot of the clip first, and then push the top in until you hear the click.
That's it. Same thing we did to the back. We did to this side.
Now we untie the caliper from the spring and slide it on top of the new pads. Lining it up with the slide pins and insert the top and bottom bolts. These bolts need to be torqued to 30 foot-pounds. Double check everything before we put the wheel back on. Put the wheel back on. Then pump the brake pedal until it gets firm. And take it for a ride. It's recommended to get the speed up to 5 miles an hour and brake a few times. To make sure the brake pedal stays hard, we drove it for approximately 3 miles. I hope this helps someone out there that's thinking of doing their own braking rotors, and I will put the part numbers and links below if you have a 2008 VUE and need to order parts. And you all have a great day.